If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. That old adage fits my life pretty well. In my book, I provide a lot of detail and tell some stories, but let me give you a few nuggets here. I grew up on a farm in Michigan. My opponents will try to paint me as some kind of a carpetbagger because I was not born in Nebraska, but I've lived here for 14 years and I've raised my kids here, and the longest I've lived anywhere else in my adult life was 3 years. So if Nebraska is not my home, I don't have a home. Growing up in Michigan, I learned a lot of things I might not have learned in Nebraska. In addition to some significant challenges in my young life, I saw firsthand how far-left policies and programs and a government and business community coerced and corrupted by unions with far too much power can destroy an economy and the social fabric of a once great state. I faced a number of challenges in my young life, some of which I wrote about in the book. I feel that these challenges developed my character and hopefully increased my wisdom. I can't talk about these in 3 or 4 minutes in a video, so you'll have to read the chapter in the book if you want to know more. I started my adult working life as an Army officer. I served in Desert Storm as an attack helicopter platoon leader. I and my unit were awarded some pretty high accolades and honors for our service there. I left the Army when my first wife left me and gave me sole custody of my 2 young daughters. Under the circumstances, I did not feel I could both be a good officer and a good father, so I resigned from the Army in 1993. In 2008, after about 4 years of dating, I married Dawn Zarnick, ending 15 years of single parenthood. I didn't continue my military service until I joined the Nebraska Army National Guard in 2001, and I accepted a full-time active duty position in 2004. I recently resigned from my active duty position because active duty soldiers cannot run for Congress, and I feel this is far more important than anything else I could do with my life right now. I have a bachelor's degree in physiology and a master's degree in business administration. I've written and self-published 2 books besides the one for the campaign, one on education, specifically focusing on early American history, and one on investing because I used to own my own investment management firm. I worked for a steel company, North Star Steel, which is owned by Cargill, so I also understand some things about big business, the steel industry, and some related heavy industries. While in the Army, some of the schools I attended were Ranger School, Airborne School, Air Assault School, Northern Warfare School, Aviation Officer Basic and Advanced course, the Warrant Officer Staff course, Tactical Operations Officer course, Flight School, the Apache course, the Instructor Pilot course, the Instrument Examiner course, and the Counter Drug Instructor Pilot course, and the High Mountain Qualification course, to name a few. I have some special experience working with the Border Patrol in southern Arizona. In 2006, I and most of my unit went to Arizona to help establish and anchor Arizona's Aviation Task Force as part of Operation Jumpstart. I served a total of 9 months there and was a primary author of the standing operating procedures and the training plan for the OH-58 Scout pilots. For part of that, I was the standardization pilot, essentially the senior pilot. I logged about 500 hours of flight time there and became intimately familiar with most of the area and the operations of the Border Patrol. If you're interested in more detailed information, take a look at my book where I provide much more detail about my experiences and what I feel I gained from them.